A reading from the book of Joshua. Today is July 17th. Our reading from Joshua is chapter 11. When the news reached King Jabin of Hazor, he sent message to King Jobab of Madon, to the king of Shimron, to the king of Ashapah, and to the other kings in the north, in the hill country, in the Arabah south of Chinnereth, in the lowlands, in the district of Dor on the west, to the Canaanites in the east and the west, to the Amorites, Hittites, Perizzites, and Jebusites in the hill country, and to the Hivites at the foot of Hermon in the land of Mizpah. They took the field with all their armies, an enormous host, as numerous as the sands on the seashore, and a vast multitude of horses and chariots. All these kings joined forces. They came and encamped together at the waters of Merom to give battle to Israel. But the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them. Tomorrow at this time I will have them all lying slain before Israel. You shall hamstring their horses and burn their chariots." So Joshua, with all his fighting men, came upon them suddenly at the waters of Merom and pounced upon them. The Lord delivered them into the hands of Israel, and they defeated them and pursued them all the way to Great Sidon at Misrepothamim, and all the way to the valley of Mizpeh on the east. They crushed them, letting none escape, and Joshua dealt with them as the Lord had ordered him. He hamstrung their horses and burned their chariots. Joshua then turned back and captured Hazor and put her king to the sword. Hazor was formerly the head of all those kingdoms. They proscribed and put to the sword every person in it. Not a soul survived, and Hazor itself was burned down. Joshua captured all those royal cities and their kings. He put them to the sword. He prescribed them in accordance with the charge of Moses, the servant of the Lord. However, all those towns that are still standing on their mounds were not burned down by Israel. It was Hazor alone that Joshua burned down. The Israelites kept all the spoil and cattle of the rest of those cities as booty, but they cut down their populations with the sword until they exterminated them. They did not spare a soul, just as the Lord had commanded his servant Moses. So Moses had charged Joshua, and so Joshua did. He left nothing undone of all that the Lord had commanded Moses. Joshua conquered the whole of this region, the hill country of Judah, the Negeb, the whole land of Goshen, the Shephelah, the Arabah, and the hill country and coastal plain of Israel. Everything from Mount Halak, which ascends to Seir, all the way to Baal-Gad in the valley of Lebanon at the foot of Mount Hermon, and he captured all the kings there and executed them. Joshua waged war with all those kings over a long period. Apart from the Hivites who dwelt in Gibeon, not a single city made terms with the Israelites. All were taken in battle. For it was the Lord's doing to stiffen their hearts to give battle to Israel, in order that they might be proscribed without quarter and wiped out as the Lord had commanded Moses. At that time Joshua went and wiped out the Anakites from the hill country, from Hebron, Debir, and Anab, from the entire hill country of Judah, and from the entire hill country of Israel. Joshua proscribed them and their towns. No Anakites remained in the land of the Israelites, but some remained in Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. Thus Joshua conquered the whole country, just as the Lord had promised Moses, and Joshua assigned it to Israel to share according to their tribal divisions, and the land had rest from war.